Good morning. Welcome back to whatever this is. I know it's been a while. I'm so sorry. I can't even tell y'all the amount of videos I dead ass recorded, never uploaded, will never see the light of day. Some of them are good, some of them are trash. But you know what? Dochi said it, okay? Any creative artist, you need to get used to posting the shit that's terrible. So if this is terrible, y'all gonna see it anyways. Hi. So, anyways, I thought I would start with a little update because I've put out a few videos at this point, but y'all don't actually know me, and we gonna keep it that way for the most part. But let me share some experiences that are going like down, just in case like it might help someone else who's dealing with something similar, has like similar ideas. Like, okay.
What are you laughing at, you fucking fraud? What is he laughing at?
Yo.
Bro, what is he laughing at?
Okay, so first off, life update. I moved across the country again. So, if you didn't know, the last time I did this, I moved to Texas, and I was working like a 9 to 5 at a law firm. That shit was absolutely fucking terrible. Hated my life most of the time that I was doing that. So, after that situation, I quit. Like one day, I literally just dead ass woke up and said, I'm done. Quit, moved back home. Thankfully, I have parents I can go back to, so, but not too much though, because the price that I pay when I go home was mental. And honestly, I lasted maybe 3 months. In between that time, I also went on like a solo travel trip to Guatemala. It was actually pretty terrible. I mean, it was okay, but like they make solo traveling seem like it's gonna be the best thing in the world all the time, every time. But the truth was, for me personally, it was my first time also like solo traveling. And I had to push myself, and I feel like I'm generally extroverted, like, but it's hard to find people you vibe with. I don't even know. But anyways, it was an overwhelming experience. It wasn't bad, but it was overwhelming and not what I expected. Not the rejuvenating, life-changing experience that I was hoping for, right? So I was there for like about 3 weeks or so, then came back home, and after I came back home from that whole journey, had some time to like think, and that's what I wanted. I was hoping for like a big ass revelation, but all I realized was like, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep moving. Now I'm in a different place altogether. Literally, I'm in. I don't know if I want to tell you all my location because people are weird in this fucking planet. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But all I should say is I'm somewhere new in a city I've never been before. Let me tell you, I moved here without ever visiting this city, not visiting the residence that I'm staying at, not like. And girl, some of this is a little ghetto, but this is the come up story. This is the part of the story that nobody wants to talk about. You're with me on my artist's way, like, period, okay? Because I'll make it. Why am I gonna make it? Because I'm never gonna stop. Why am I never gonna stop? Because anything else in this existence seems like death. I don't know. Like, anybody else feel like if they were to try and force themselves to get into the 9 to 5 world, they would literally end up killing themselves? Like, because I don't know, like, I feel like as a neurodivergent person, and that's not diagnosed, by the way, I just, over my years, have realized how many neurodivergent friends I've had. Like, literally, all of my closest friends are neurodivergent. So I had to start saying, maybe. Like, I'm so neurodivergent, I missed the cue. I missed the fact that I was missing the cues in the first place. That's the level I'm at. So, anyways, I say all this to say, like, it is a slow death. I'm someone who needs to move at her own pace. I think 9 to 5 is generally constricting for anybody, even neurotypical folks, but they're more likely to deny themselves. Like, there was a whole TikTok I saw about the difference between neurotypical and neurodivergent communication. If I can find it, maybe I'll put it in here, maybe I'm not, I don't care. But regardless, it kind of just helped me to understand the fact that there are some people on this planet that will never get me, and that's okay. Like, we are just not able. How would this? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I just. Hold on. You like this? Be honest. Is the lighting too bad? Because the skin is skinning. I can't even lie. It's kind of a vibe, so I think we're gonna go with it. Yeah, because that fucking, this shit is an enemy of progress. let me get back to what I was saying. In general, like I just knew at a certain point, even if I were to force myself, it wouldn't end up good. It wouldn't work out for me. Mentally, physically, emotionally, the anxiety I felt, and I was working home like a couple days a week. I can't even imagine the days you have to go into the office every single day. Like Gen Z, we came into the workforce at the perfect time because before COVID, like my literal first job, like 9 to 5, was during COVID. So the world was already shifting when I came into the working place. And they're trying to shift us back. And it's like, why? Because they want control over our time so they can have control over our thoughts, they can have control over our energy so they can do whatever they want to us. I came across TikTok that was literally, this is just gonna be whatever I feel like talking about, get used to it. I came across TikTok the other day, was like, oh my goodness, extraterrestrials are like running the planet. And at first I was like, yeah, this person is literally experiencing psychosis. But then I thought about how not Peter Dinklage, the billionaire, the nasty, ugly, fugly billionaire. And yes, I can comment on their looks when they're billionaires. I feel like that's just a rule of thumb. But anyways, I seen a video of him, and he looks like a fucking lizard if I've ever seen one. Y'all want to talk about Mark Zuckers? Like, he's different, but Peter, the one who's funding Trump's campaign as we speak, that's a type of that's the type of uncanny valley I got looking at someone's face. And didn't he legit say like he doesn't feel like the human race needs to survive? Like,
you would prefer the human race to endure, right?
Uh,
You're
yeah.
hesitating.
Well,
Yes?
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit.
Sure.
okay, you know, it's not too far off. So when you have the type of mind and personality where you're open to a lot of things, you're a little more like fluid, a little more loose. Like, I thought about it when I was working too. It's like my ancestors, you know, I'm African, so I know a lot of there's a lot of stereotypes. But I thought about it, like my ancestors allegedly were running through with lions, running through the jungle. That's how they want us to think, right? But whatever. Even if that's not all the truth, you know, obviously I'm being a bit facetious, but they were running through fields, like, you know, eating some mushrooms under the tree, chilling, like, and here I am at a desk for 8 hours straight, looking right outside. The sun is shining straight up, but I can't go because I gotta clock in. Not like I have any work to do. Mind you, that was the worst part of working 9 to 5s and fucking office culture. You gotta clock in even when there's nothing for you to fucking do. That never made sense to me. And that's something where it's like, if I don't understand why something's being done, I'm really bad at taking directions that are meaningless. And that is what the 9 to 5 has taught us to do. That is what the school system has taught us to do. To take directions that are meaningless and do them anyways. Just do what the fuck you're told. Shut up. Don't ask any questions. And if you do ask questions that are not deemed appropriate, you will be punished and you will be dealt with. Like, what? This is how they've trained us. And if the training didn't work, why? Because my mind, the thing is, I did really well in school. I did really well. That was the brand of neurodivergence I got. Like, I did really well on my tests. Studying was easy. College, school, all of it was not that hard. But when it comes to work, the 9 to 5, the constraints, because I feel like at least within, like, especially the university system, they allow, and I studied like the humanities, they allowed for a little bit of autonomy when it came to like how you structure your day, how you, like, when you have your first class, like, you know, what classes you're most interested in. Like, you had a little bit more decision and more choice over how you structured your day and your week, and I did very well with that. But then when you enter the work system, they treat you like you're a child, and like they have to tell you how to do it and what to do. I feel like that can be played a lot with just like what manager you have, what office you're working at. But regardless, they treat you like children the second that you earn the right, the technical right to be an adult, right? Like, they say all adults, you have to be working, yeah, da, 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 da. Okay, I got this thing that says I'm technically an adult, right? Why am I being treated like I'm fucking 5? And I don't know how to use my time appropriately. You hired me for this fuck ass job. Why'd you hire me if you don't trust me to do it? I don't understand that shit. And honestly, like, I did my job really well too. I quit because of the people who fucking hated me. It's like, I don't know how to communicate. Small talk. We don't know her. I'm trying, but also I don't care. Also, I don't care. Why do I have to pretend to care? And do you know what else I realized? How much lying I had to do. Anytime someone asked me about my time, my day, whatever it is, I had to lie. What do you want me to say? What did I do this weekend? I'm blazed up the whole entire time and tried to forget about my existence. Is that what you want to hear? No. I guess I just have to tell you I went to the park. I didn't go to the fucking managers who made my whole time there like she was just a bitch. Okay, that's my truth. She made my whole time there rough. She was leaving for whatever shit she was leaving for. She had a whole ceremony and da-da-da. Like, I didn't go. People want to come around my desk, oh, like shading in that passive aggressive ass way, being like, oh, everybody was there. Oh, what happened? Like, I'm sure you were busy. No, I wasn't. I just didn't want to go because I don't like her. Why can't I say that? Oh, that's not appropriate, but I thought you wanted the truth. Oh, like, like, that's what I'm trying to like. And so the world has never made much sense to me. So I had to figure out how to make meaning of the world. And that is the journey that I am on right now. So quit my job, didn't even think about it, left, didn't even think about it. Now I'm here, didn't think about it. And it's all working out. Bro, when I tell you how things start to fall together when you actually start taking action, like, this is where I understand now, because I feel like the manifestation gurus have really like came into the space and made y'all feel like you need to be on level 10,000 of, oh, I know everything and I'm feeling so great, and that's how things come into like the universe. No, it is literally in the Bible, faith the size of a mustard seed. Throw up the size of a mustard seed. Like, that shit is tiny. That shit is nothing. You can do it. You can be that. You can have that. You know, all it takes to really have that is enough. Maybe you don't have enough knowledge of how everything is going to fall into place, like I didn't when I moved here. Okay, I have so many things that I need to fall together in order for me to be able to live what I would deem a successful experience in my time here. But is any of that lined up? No. Was any of that lined up when I moved here? No. Not in the physical, but in the spiritual, in the realms that we cannot see. I trust that things are coming together. That is why I moved. And that is why I leapt. And watch. Just watch and see. This actually happened when I moved to Austin as well, like in Texas. I moved there, no job, middle of a recession. A lot of the people that I graduated with were telling me they couldn't find jobs, right? So I moved and I didn't have much income. I think I had like maybe 200, 300 in my pocket when I moved there. 3 months later, I got a job. Was it a rough 3 months? Hell yeah. There was times where I was looking in my fridge like, I had to get some part-time stuff while I was finding out what I was going to do full-time. When I got that full-time job, I thought, okay, perfect. Now I'm just going to do that full-time, and then I'm going to work on my creative on the side. But when I tell you, it was sucking my soul away. I said, I can't keep doing this. Maybe other people can balance. That's not my portion. And that's something a lot of us need to learn now, because we are in a time in like the internet and society where everybody feels like they can tell you how to do something. And as someone that doesn't listen and who has a real big issue with authority, that's the best way to irritate me, to try to tell me how to do something. Especially if I didn't ask you for it. Especially if you're not someone who's equipped with the knowledge, right? Like, I always figure if I'm not looking up to you in some way, if I'm not like admiring whether it's your personality or like, you know, that chutzpah, as they call it, or it's like, even if you don't have everything like together yet, if you have the energy, the determination, the ambition, like those kinds of qualities that I would admire, now I'm gonna look to you and be like, okay, how does she do it? How do they do it? And what do they think? But if you have none of the above and you just talking to talk, that is half of society. That is 75% of society. That is 90% of fucking society at this point. We just yappers. The thing about me is I think my worst fear is being a hypocrite. And I think that comes from family trauma and seeing people in my family like go around, get so much clout, like everybody thinks they're the greatest person, but I know that their actions don't line up at all. And I think also being a part of, you know, Nigerian culture, like we are a very ostentatious, is that the word? I don't know. People, like we love to be the center of attention. And with that comes like also being aware, like when you're the center of attention, when you're trying to get attention, you only want positive attention. You don't want nobody talking about your kids doing this, that, and the third. So we are very subconscious about how other people perceive us. That has been like built into the Nigerian culture, right? So where am I going with this? Oh, so it's always about how things look before it is how things are, right? You can present the best family picture in Nigerian culture and they'll love that. And your family will be happier with that than having, you know, a good family behind the scenes and then having a poor image front facing. Does that make sense? You know, you care so much more about the image that you don't give a fuck what's happening on the down low. So experiencing that so much in my life made me realize the importance of being honest about myself and meaning what I say and saying what I mean. That's something I'm still practicing. That's something I'm still learning. I had an issue with lying for a long time of my life. Call it PTSD, call it whatever you want. But when you get raised in a situation where lying is the only thing that can save you, you find yourself lying for no reason. And then also the society that we live in encourages us to lie when it's appropriate. A kid doesn't know the difference between what's appropriate and what's not. All it hears is, okay, I can lie. That's all I'm getting, you know? So I took that to heart for a while. And now I'm growing out of it. Now I'm learning more. Now I'm being an adult and growing the fuck up and leaving kid shit behind. Let's talk about it. There's so much childish shit that I have to leave behind, like the blazing that I was talking to you about, because it was a problem. But that was the thing I had to realize. There were so many ways I was trying to escape my existence. I'm telling you, every single day, it's like I didn't want to be aware that I was conscious. And so my goal when I left that job and when I decided to make the changes, now that I'm here, everything, it is to create a life that I don't want to escape from. To create a life I'm actually excited to wake up and live. And I know that takes time, and maybe not, actually. I don't know anything. It might happen instantaneously. But I'm willing to take the risk and do whatever it takes to get there. And that means leaving all the, you know, some security, some safety, some things that made me feel comfortable alone. Because that comfort zone was killing me slowly, softly. I mean, I think about how much drinking and drugs I did. Can I say that on YouTube? In college and onward up until like this point, basically I've been free. I've been actually fully clear-minded for the past, well, I won't tell you how long, but it's been a little while. So, and now it's like I want to continue with that. I'm not saying I'm going to be sober necessarily because I'm still young and turnt. I'm dealing with a lot when it comes with that, but I was realizing that it was quickly becoming my main coping mechanism, any one of the substances, to distract me from the pain that was my everyday existence. Like any type of uncomfortable feeling came up, that's what I was reaching for, or that's what I was thinking about and waiting until I had the opportunity to reach for it, right? So it really became a point where it's like, what percentage of my life am I in like this state of just not being myself? And I think that was the biggest thing I realized after, you know, detoxing from all that stuff, is that, oh, I wasn't, you know, I don't know. It's just like, I wasn't better necessarily, because that's my mentality, especially with the ganja. It was like, okay, this is making me better, it's making me calmer, it's making me, you know, I'm doing this for me, but I'm also doing this for y'all. You don't want my normal level of agitation when I have to come around. So that was my mentality. But at the same time, like after I detoxed, I realized it's like I wasn't actually any better. I was just different. I was a different person. You know, there was parts of my personality that was being suppressed, parts of my personality that were just being ignored, things that were just like not me. Also characteristics that were just not genuine to me in sober state of mind, that I didn't really notice, because especially with the, you know, it was happening. I was doing it so often that, you know, it was easier than drinking. Like compared to drinking, the other stuff, like I thought it was a better option, which is wild. Like how many opportunities do you have to drink as growing up in America? I'm sure in other countries too, but specifically America, because I don't know what they put in that shit. I really don't. And it's literally killing us slowly, surely. The cigarettes too, don't do that. Never did that. Okay, maybe a few times, but each and every time, like it never became something I do on my own. Like never, ever. And I pray that it never will, because God rebuke it. But in general, there was a lot of things that my childhood self would be like, oh, never. We all went to the DARE programs. And look, I don't necessarily regret it, but I think I got to the mentality where it's like, this is the only thing that makes my life bearable, makes my life fun, enjoyable. And it was like anything I was doing, it's like, oh, let me add this into the mix to make it even better. you can't enjoy anything sober. Like, girl, it was becoming an issue. So I had to check in with myself and check out of that shit. And I knew, like, yes, there was some internal shit that I had to deal with, but also it was the result of like an external world that I could no longer bear to exist in. So I had to make a choice, and my choice was to take that leap of faith rather than stay in the comfort zone that was killing me. Because ultimately, the two choices that was either stay or to go. It was, yes, going is scary, but what's even scarier is the thought of being in this same place a year from now. Fuck no. At least now that I'm out here like doing it, like trying to figure out what to do, I'm even more motivated. Look, this is the first post I've made in how long? Like, I'm doing my TikTok more, like I'm really on this, and I'm going to be exploring other things, other interests too, and I'm excited for that, even though it's a little stressful because I have things I need to get together. Bills need to be paid, but it's a process, and I'm letting myself trust that the universe, who told me to do this in the first place, has my back. So join me on the journey. I think this is going to be my first just little, welcome back video, and then I'm gonna start cranking out some videos about a few topics that I've wanted to talk about. Like, we gotta talk about the socio-political state of the economy and the world right now. There's so much happening that I need to deep dive into, so hold on for that. I also want to do a Sinners video because that movie. And there was another one that came out that I'm thinking about. Oh, if y'all want me to give you the Love Island breakdown, stay tuned. That video is going to be so long, but I'm working on it right now, rewatching the entire season, taking my notes so I can give it to y'all. So if you have joined me on this journey, trust and believe we are going to be somewhere a year from now. Trust. Okay, so, and if you're inspired, like, please like, share, follow, whatever, like, join me on this journey, because I do feel like if you found your way here and you're still here, you are aligned with whatever it is that is happening right now. And I promise, like, the magic will transfer. Okay, we'll see it. You'll see the changes in my life and you'll see the changes in your life. Okay, but you have to actually listen to what I say and do it. Or not, and use your own discernment, use your own judgment. But regardless, I'm thankful for being here. I'm thankful for having you all. This is my video to basically say I'm gonna take this shit serious and actually post some content so that y'all can binge and watch and whatever. So thank you for joining me on the journey. Thank you again for being here and watching this long. If y'all have any questions, any topics that you'd want me to discuss specifically, like, leave it in the comments. Let me know and I will get to you. Yeah, that's it. Peace out. You see my stomach? Did y'all hear that? Anyways, good eye.